Nova Scotia. Police are looking for 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan.
Unfortunately, still a lot of questions left at this point, Andrew, as the search does continue for that missing brother and sister in Nova Scotia. We did, like you said, we did learn more last hour. Now that does include plans to scale back the search efforts.
Well, hello, my beautiful people of TikTok. I don't normally get a chance to see you guys this late in the evening. I hope you're doing well. If you're wanting to know who I am or if you've never seen me before, I am Bullhorn Betty and I cover true crime. And I have been covering extensively the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and actually was arrested by the parents for violation of protective orders for my speech in Florida and using hashtags. And I just wanted to tell you before we get started, there you go. No indictment. When it came away from the corruptness of this county, which Sumner County is riddled with corruption, we hear that every single case we cover, and for whatever reason, I don't ever believe it because we hear it so often, almost every single case that we have. And, I never thought that this would happen in America, and it did. For those people that don't know, is I was wrongfully, I went by, I recorded in my capacity covering the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I did a nighttime view, a daytime view. I stayed on public property. And my last day there, I posted flyers of this missing child and posted them all over the community from Gallatin into Hendersonville and into their community. On every single pole, every single wood pole I could come across, I put a flyer of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers on it. I've never wanted to see these people. I've never asked to speak to these people. I've never called these people. I've never asked people to reach out to these people. I've never contacted these people. I've never asked people to contact these people. And I never laid eyes on them until I was actually in court for the first time. And it was already after I was arrested. So they were able to get me all the way through this court proceeding. But when they had to present the case to actual people, it didn't rise to indictment. So they put this before the grand jury. It was a very weak case, and no true bill right here. No true bill was provided. And then WKRN, I think is the name of the news station, has already run a story on it. So very happy for that. One less thing to worry about. I still have an appeals to go through, and this has put me back quite a bit, so we'll have to figure out what the path forward is, but for right now, this is great news. So before we get too far into it, everybody knows Lily and Jack Sullivan are missing. They're the two children out of Nova Scotia. And there's just a lot of oddities with this case. And not only is there oddities with this case, there's also comparisons with this case and, say, the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, the behavior of the parents, some of the statements that have been made by the parents. There's just a whole host of information. These children disappeared on their parents' watch from their very home. The moms have left the area after searches went underway. And these are red flags to people like me that cover true crime all the time, because we see parents that are truly missing their children and parents that appear to have more knowledge about the situation. What did you say? Glad to see you still doing you. God bless you. Oh, thank you. Oh, Justin. Well, hello, my friend. I hope you are doing well. It is nice to see you. Been several years, and yes, I'm still doing a lot of the same stuff I was doing when we chatted quite more frequently than we do this day and age. I hope you are doing well. I've been I've been doing some things with your uncle, and you know, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but we've made the news, to say the least. If people don't know who that is, Justin Behag is Dog the Bounty Hunter's nephew. I've known him for several years now, and just a really good guy. So it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. You'll see the news in a week everywhere. I always respect him, but not the baby. Yeah. Update, possible sighting of Sebastian. JD, no sightings of Sebastian at all. But getting back to it, you know, these two kids, the behavior, I mean, there's just certain things that you can identify, and you can place it with the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, which is what is so concerning when it comes to this case of Lily and Jack Sullivan. And, you know, I've been watching The Deception Detective. I don't know how many of you guys know The Deception Detective. He's on the YouTube. He's on YouTube, and he is an attorney trained in statement analysis. And Daniel, this is these kids' step-parent, you know, Daniel. And he's saying that Daniel's hitting some, he believes that Daniel has more knowledge about some facts, but it seems like he is hitting the things that you need. You know, he has pictures of the kids, he's out there searching, he's doing these things, but is he trying too hard? I've noticed that he's tried to cry on cue. I've noticed that, like, he'll be 1 minute, he'll be crying, the next minute he'll be talking just fine. It really reminded me of a lot of different parents. Like I'm pretty sure we saw that in Susan Smith. We saw that in Quentin Simon and Leilani Simon. Leilani Simon's the mother. She's the one that has been convicted of, you know, harming her child. She was able to cry on cue. So we have a lot of these behaviors, but the one thing that we have that is similar is the moms, because many people can identify with their child missing. There's, you know, every parent, I think, throughout time has had some, if you have children or young children, you've had a scare, okay? You've been at a park, you've been at an attraction of some sort, and you turned around and your child wasn't there. You were at a clothing store, you turned around and your child wasn't there. We've all had scares. We've all had that moment where your heart is literally in your throat and you feel like you're suffocating, and you know it's nothing major. And when we see these parents that have been without their children for a night or 2 nights or a week or a month, and you don't see the behavior that you had, that sheer panic that you had in that instant where you couldn't find your child or your nephew or your niece or whomever you are watching or whatever the case may be. And so we're not seeing that in this mother. And the mother left. Katie left for a week. And I think that really comes down to this whole, protective order and all this. I think I truly was a distraction. So I was the excuse to say, well, see, we've been harassed. Look what we had to do, right? And therefore, they went ahead and are able to plead that they've been harassed and that's why they had to leave their home, when in fact, that's not why they had to leave their home. So I think that there's more going on here, just like I think there's more going on here in Lily and Jack's case as well. Do I know whether either parent are guilty of anything? Of course not. And right now, I really do think it's too soon because of where they live. They do live in a very desolate area. They do live in a place where children could wander, get lost, and succumb to the elements around them. Now, I've heard Lily scream at a birthday party for Jack, and It is, it is quite loud. I will say that she's got a pair of lungs on her. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because I have to think if these children were somewhat on the spectrum and they were in an element where they didn't see anybody and they're out there in nowhere land, I can just see Lily really just having a fit and screaming and somebody hearing her. And so without this being the case, it does make me feel some type of way. I've also heard that they had a house party at their house. And I'm still trying to find out any information. It does sound like there are some people out there that are communicating with some of the content creators. So if you hear anything, please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, because I am interested in information. And I did want to show you guys this, and I know that everybody has been talking about this, and rightfully so. I think everybody should be talking about this. That's not the one. Hold on here. Is it this one? I have the wrong one. I know, I've got it somewhere. There it is. This whole entire backyard is fenced in. And that is another problem that many people like me have when it comes to this particular case, is the fact that we're told that this sliding glass door is not noisy. Now, none of us are there, and you can't judge a book by its cover when it comes to these sliding glass doors. I've seen rickety doors that are very quiet and slide like a glove. And then I've seen other ones that look almost brand new that are hard as heck to open. So I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to prejudge something just because we're prejudging the yard, we're prejudging their home, which we are. Many of us are, whether you believe it or not, we are. And I don't want to say anything so much about this sliding glass door, but what I can say is this backyard is pretty well secure. And I just don't see 4 and 6 year olds climbing this fence and getting over. And then there comes this whole situation with Lily's backpack. Why would she grab her backpack? It just doesn't fit the vibe of what the parents are saying. It just seems like one of those things that are off in the story, especially with them playing outside and parents being in their room. Okay, well, if they're sick at home and say, okay, they want to get outside because they're feeling a little better, why the backpack? The backpack almost implies that she was getting ready to go to school. Well, she wasn't going to school. She was going out in the backyard to play. So again, the backpack for me is the oddity. And the reason why I'm pointing it out is because a backpack is a perfect thing to hide something in if you're going to be removing something from the house. And, it would be the excuse for the backpack to have gone with them, so it can hide incriminating evidence potentially, But for me, the backpack's an oddity. Like, why would she take the backpack when she's just going into the backyard to play? It doesn't make sense to me. So those are a few things. We're covering the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan. We're still on the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we'll continue to be on the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I'm ready to start doing something because we're past a year and a half. We've been held back so much so by the mom and stepdad. They've been up on the screen saying they want help. We want your help. We want all hands on deck. Please don't let them fall to the bottom of the thing. And every time anybody comes out there, them or the people that they work with end up starting to harass them and do things to them. And it's like, you know what? It just doesn't make any sense. These parents are acting like in the public light, they're just asking for anybody willing to help, and anybody that actually does help, they run them off. I mean, it's blatantly obvious at this point in time. And I just feel like, now that things are dying down in Sumner County, especially with me, we need to start, ramping it up and trying to figure out what we can do before Sebastian Rogers' case goes cold, which, in my opinion, it probably is starting to lean on the cooler side of cases. And that's exactly where we do not want this to be. We all know and can see clearly what has transpired in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case for many of us. And we're just trying and sitting here waiting because we can't do it ourselves. And it's like law enforcement is sitting back with their feet up, waiting for us or somebody out there in the community or in the world to stumble upon Sebastian so they can close this case. Meanwhile, never really doing a whole lot to help this case. We don't even know if they've done forensics in Sebastian's home. We have no clue. So it's very, very troublesome. Their statements are very troublesome. Hey, Patty, it's nice to see you, love. And then, we've got these two children out of Nova Scotia that are also missing. And some of the statements that their mom and stepdad have made sound eerily similar to some of the statements we've heard Katie and Chris make. And it's concerning for me. My concern is the child was outside in pull-ups, no clothes. Well, they said tan pants, the blue, whatever. But again, there's just something about their statements. There's just something that doesn't sit right with me with the whole situation, and I'll explain that to you. What I mean is, they're saying that the children didn't go to school. They were at school on Tuesday. Wednesday was a day off. They didn't go to school on Thursday, neither one of them. And by Friday, they were reported missing. To me, that tells me something happened either Tuesday evening or Wednesday evening, so much so that they couldn't go to school on Thursday, which would imply if something happened to them earlier than Friday, both mom and dad and stepdad, Daniel, would know what had happened to these children. So I truly believe that there is a reason why these children were not in school on Thursday, and I don't believe it's because of a cough Lily had. I truly don't. Now, am I there? Do I know definitively? No, but it is my gut telling me that, it's awfully peculiar that they didn't go to school the day before they were reported missing. And for both of them to be disappeared at the same time, I mean, it's highly unlikely. All of this is just highly unlikely. The statistics, statistically, I would say almost statistically impossible, but we know that it's not. There is outliers out there. Could this be an outlier? Maybe, but I really just don't believe that. I believe there's something strange in all this. Both of them disappearing at the same time, both of them being out of school on Thursday, both of them when only one was reported to have a cough. You would think that if a parent was staying home with one sick kid, they would want the other child going to school for no other reason than just to give them a break while they're dealing with one and mending to one sick kid. It just, there's just things that just don't make sense to me that, and I don't know if we're going to get an answer because, again, the mom has run off. And anybody can say, we heard that the boyfriend kicked her off the property. Well, that may very well be, but I would be camping out in a tent in the front yard. I mean, there are still eviction laws going on. No matter what state you're in, nobody can just kick you out of the damn house that you're living in. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. So a tent in the front yard, going down the road, staying at the nearest hotel, having a friend prop you up for a few days while your child to go counties away. And then now I hear that the lady has moved on again. It just tells me something's not right. It doesn't normally happen like this. And in this case, it is happening like this. So we're going to still be here. I always hope that when I look at these cases and I feel the way I'm feeling, I always hope that I'm wrong. But as more and more people that I trust in lean on and review in cases like this that are already covering this is already starting to give some grim outlooks on this. They're also being very cautious as well, identifying that they hope that they're wrong as well. But it is leaning more that somebody close to these children knows something. And we know the statistics. The statistics are alarmingly high that these children were more likely than not hurt by somebody that they knew. If they're gone, then they're gone because of somebody that they knew, somebody that they trusted. And when you look at children with autism and other ailments like that, the chances of it being a caregiver go through the roof. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that these parents have done anything. I'm just saying there's enough red flags here that if you're side-eyeing them, don't feel guilty about it. All right, guys. Well, you take care. God bless each and every one of you. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there. I truly wish you guys the absolute best day. And for those mothers out there that do not have their children, God bless each and every one of you. I will be praying that each and every one of you has a very fond memory of your children. And likewise for those that don't have their mothers anymore as well. So God bless all of you beautiful people, aunts, grandmothers. I hope you guys just have a very beautiful and blessed day and feel very special, because I have to let you know, even when we don't tell you guys very often, we love you very much, and we are so very thankful that you guys are in our lives. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. Bye-bye.